What up? Me back again, ready to talk about some basketball. And today I want to talk about Coby White, who is a member of the Chicago Bulls. He was the 7th pick in the 2019 NBA draft. And his career thus far has been a little up and down. Was a double-digit scorer when he came into the league. And in the 2022 to 23 season, which is the season I believe the Bulls kind of had their big three of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic kind of truly assemble. I might be wrong, but I think that was the year. Saw his production drop down to 9.7 points per game. Also had a reduction in his minutes per game, went from 27.5 minutes per game the season before to just 23.4 minutes in that season. But the season after, last season, went from 9.7 points per game to 19.1 points per game. And I still think it is just an atrocity that he was not given the NBA's Most Improved Player award. I understand Tyrese Maxey certainly deserved it as well, but I think for a player like Tyrese Maxey, who has already kind of established himself in the league as a star, basically, I don't know if I would give him the award. It's similar to like Ja Morant, right? Like I think like Desmond Bane probably deserved the Most Improved Player award the season that Ja Morant won it, but it's not like they didn't both deserve it. But Coby White should have gotten it, right? But so the reason I want to talk about Coby White is that he's had a pretty good start to the season. In his first game, he only put up about, I think it was 10 points. He put up 10 points against the New Orleans Pelicans in the first game of the season, their season opener in New Orleans. Played 35 minutes, went 4 for 13 shooting, roughly like 31%. 0 for 5 from 3, right? So he's just kind of that player. He's a little up and down, a little streaky here and there, but he erupted in his second game of the season against the Milwaukee Bucks, which resulted in a win where he had 35 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 6 rebounds, while shooting 54% from the three-point line, 7 to 13 shooting from 3, and then 12 of 20 from the field overall for a 60% field goal percentage for the game. I just think this has to be a statement year for Coby White because he's a talented scorer. He's an extremely talented scorer, and he takes good shots most of the time. Sometimes he takes bad shots, but even when he takes some of these bad shots, he's making them. But as evident in his first 2 games of the season, which is not a very large sample size, it's still a little tough for him to get super consistent, right? And I think this season is going to be one where he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot more. I do think the Chicago Bulls are going to try to offload Zach LaVine, as they've been trying to do for what feels like years. And if Zach LaVine gets moved, then it's Coby White's team to play with, right? And I already feel like it is kind of becoming that. Zach LaVine is, obviously injury prone and is not necessarily a piece that I think the Bulls really want, and they've been trying to get rid of him. They can't. He just doesn't have the best contract in terms of tradability. So it is what it is. But Coby White is a true talent, and I think a lot of people just don't really realize because he's been in the league for a while. He's been in the league for, this is his 6th year now? Might be the 5th year. I don't know if I'm doing that math right. But once a rookie kind of, goes through their rookie contract, makes it 4 years down the line, and, is kind of averaging, 10 points per game. I think another guy on the Bulls that, I can kind of explain this with is Patrick Williams. Like, Patrick Williams is a really good player, but he got picked 4th overall, and he's not an all-star. He's not really a star player. He's not really a scorer. He's a defender. That's pretty much it, right? But he's not a bad player. He's a good player, and I think he'll continue to have an NBA career for 10 years. He's a good player. But Coby White, I think, has the potential to be more and really has the ability to be like a star, especially with the numbers that he can put up. And he's a good rebounding guard, too. I think he's averaging like 7 boards a game through his first 2 games. I think he had six one night and then 8 the other night. So he plays hard, and he is a dedicated player. He works really hard. I've seen plenty of his interviews and, like pre-draft workouts, things like that. He was really good coming out of UNC, and he's been that in the league. And he's honestly, I have a lot of respect for the level of patience that he has, like, and willing to accept a role coming off a bench and then moving back to the starting lineup. And then, if they want to move him back to the bench, he's always willing to accept whatever he needs to do to help the team win. Clearly the Bulls don't really know what's going to help them win, but, they'll get there eventually. So Coby White is a guy that I would look out for. If you can pick him up in your fantasy league, I would do that. He's going to go off. He's going to have games where he probably scores 40 points. I could see a 50-point game coming for him this year. It's all in the realm of reality. So I think it's very important also that he now has Lonzo Ball playing with him. I don't know how available Lonzo Ball is going to be, throughout the season. They might want to kind of limit his play to start so he can kind of ease back into things, which I think is smart. The guy's been out for 2 full years. So, I'm just glad to see Lonzo Ball playing. He, I think, was a lot more important to the Chicago Bulls than a lot of people thought. And for a guy like Coby White, playing with a big athletic point guard who then will allow you to basically slot down to the 2 spot and be a spot-up shooter in situations and make cuts and basically just get easy baskets, because Lonzo Ball, that's his MO, is trying to get his teammates open and kind of just contribute to allowing all of the other teammates that he has to score and, make an impact on the game. So I think it's going to be a real big year for Coby White. The man is really all that and a bag of chips. And I think if you're not on that Coby White train right now, I think in a couple years you're gonna be like, oh, shit, like I really should have been watching this dude, because he's 101. Like, honestly, I don't say this a lot about certain players. Like Cam Thomas is one of those guys where I'm like, he's just gonna put the ball in the basket. Coby White is another one of those guys who's just gonna put the ball in the basket. Like, it does not matter. He's gonna find a way to score. You can shut him down a little bit, but there's a difference between shutting someone down completely and slowing him down. I think really all you can do is slow down Coby White. You're not going to be able to do much else. So it'll be interesting to see if the Bulls make some moves this year, basically trade out some of the guys that they have on their roster, bring in new guys, and kind of allow it to be Coby White's team going forward. Because I think you have Coby White, Patrick Williams, who's not a big scorer. You have Modest Buzelis, who's going to be a little bit of a wild card. We don't really know what he's going to contribute yet. You have Lonzo Ball, who's an all-around playmaker, not the best shooter, but all-around playmaker, and can really lead a team on offense and handle the ball for you. So I'm looking forward to see what Coby White's going to do over these next couple of weeks as we kind of get through the first quarter of the season, if you will. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So if you haven't been watching the Chicago Bulls, I recommend it. Coby White is a thriller to watch, and he's just going to keep getting better from here. So I'll catch you guys with the next one. As always, if you like the video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all that, because I got plenty of videos coming your way. Catch you guys with the next one. Peace.